about home. They're married to real estate.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast for people who love real estate and want to become inspired and informed. Whether you are a newbie real estate agent looking to get tips, learn a thing or two, or maybe you're a savvy property owner who wants to get a jump on the market, this is the place for you. We discuss our passion for real estate and people, and we bring together our personal experiences as well as our guests to learn from each other. You'll hear from experts in sales coaching, real estate law, mortgage lending, investing, and many local business owners on how to grow your business or your investment in real estate. I'm Mairi McCauley.
I'm Mairi Elliot.
I'm Mary Forster.
And we are Married to Real Estate.
Well, welcome everybody. It is another wonderful Friday. We record on Fridays.
Friday.
Welcome
Woo.
to
Yep.
Married to Real Estate. And it's going to be a really wonderful show today. We are really, really lucky to have a very special guest today. But what we do by way of welcome is, by way of kind of beginning, is we check in with the Marys, Mary, and kind of ask what's happened in the last week or so that you think our listeners would like to know about.
Yeah, well, as I was just telling you guys, I'm now on this Destination Groton committee, and we are doing community outreach. So I just ran from a nonprofit council meeting in Groton to this morning, and that's so exciting for me. It's such a big thing to be touching all of the nonprofits in our community and talking about what we can do to help serve them and, maybe grow their community base and all of that sort of thing. So that's very exciting for me. And I also have a ton of just real estate clients coming in right now, and that's great. I'm very busy and a little bit all over the place right now. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so just breathe, okay?
I'm breathing.
exactly.
I'm working on my breathing technique.
Exactly.
And Mary McCauley.
Oh, well, busy real estate. It's been good. I had a listing appointment this week, so it's for a house that in Westford that'll come on probably April 1st.
Wow.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. I have a couple of those in the pipeline, which is good. And then I have buyers that, I've been out there and I tell them it's not, a lack of inventory. It's just that things fly off the shelves so quickly. So we just have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Try to keep the spirit up, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And not lose hope and get
Not lose hope,
discouraged.
right.
And, which is good. And then I have a lot of nonprofit stuff I do. So, Live for Live meetings, and I'm doing 100 Women Who Care, Greater Westford. We just started that chapter, so I'm excited about that. So, yeah, busy.
Wonderful. Very good. Me, same. My referrals are all buyers now, so I have to kind of prep them that the agents that they're going to be working with will be giving them as much attention as they need and can have. So, and I was talking to a lender yesterday as well, and local lender, Penny Hamill from Bangor Savings and Loan.
Okay.
And she's on our Rotary, right?
Yes,
she's
she
on
is.
our Rotary. And so she was telling me that jumbo rates are so low compared to standard rates, conventional rates.
Yeah.
And they changed the limits on jumbos.
They did,
lowered
yeah.
them, right.
So she's saying to her clients, put down less money, take a jumbo loan and refi. So, there's all this kind of creative stuff that goes on right now, and it's really wonderful to keep in touch with these lenders. Yeah,
It's very cool.
Yep.
Well, so today we are, I don't know if our listeners know that we record from Westford, Massachusetts.
That's right.
What we have in common is that we are all in this, thank you, I'm glad you know, Mary. We are all from the same Keller Williams office.
Long-time resident. No.
And of realtors, and so we are. That's our connection. That's our geographical connection.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you're saying, well, what about Westford? And so for those of us who listen to this and don't know what this town is like, it was apparently a farm town for decades, centuries, a farm town.
Yeah.
And at one time, apparently, it was a bedroom community for industrial Lowell, when Lowell was a big industrial city, or a big, busy industrial city. And now it is just a lovely, lovely town.
Yes, it is.
full of a lot of local riches. And one of the riches is the executive director today of the Westford Cable TV.
Wow.
That's right.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
And
nice
I like
intro.
it.
how do you like that? Yeah, she paid me for that one.
I know. Did Sarah write that? No.
I don't know if I can live up to this.
So again, for our listeners, Mary Elliot had the vision to do this podcast.
We can get off of that. It's all of our vision. It's
Mary
okay.
McCauley had the vision to say, let's go see Westford Cable.
Yes, that's right.
Right?
Yep.
And I just joined for the ride. And
Yes.
so thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. But Westford Cable TV gives a voice and gives resources
Yeah.
in this community and a wider community too. Even us in Chelmsford listen to it. So I would like to introduce Sarah Fletcher, who is the executive director of Westford Cable TV. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much. Thank
Yes.
you. And you're in the podcast studio, which was my dream.
Your brainchild?
last year, and we pulled this together in I think 2 months. We converted a storage room that was chock-a-block full of stuff that needed to be recycled, and a makeshift office, and we took down a partition wall and brought in the equipment and transformed this into the podcast studio that you're producing your wonderful show in. So
It's a groundbreaking idea for especially somewhere out in the sticks, as
We're
we
not
like to
in
call
the
it. You
sticks.
know.
Bite your tongue.
Okay, sorry, Westford's a metropolitan city compared to us.
Sophisticated.
But no, it's truly. I mean, this kind of resource is not out here very, easily to find. And the fact that when Mary McCauley brought this idea to us and said, Westford Cable has a podcast studio, where our minds were blown. And thank you for having that idea. We would be nowhere without you having that idea.
Well, thank you. It wasn't my original idea, but I knew that when we talked about that originally, I knew that this was the space for it. So I was glad
We had
to
a
make that
vision.
happen.
It's
Yeah, this
beautiful.
was definitely on my mind for
and
several
it's
years.
an awesome room. So if you just listen to our podcast, check out any of our videos because you can see the room on there and just see how wonderful it is.
Yeah, and I have to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed catching up on all your shows.
Oh, nice.
And
Thank
you
you.
really do a phenomenal job producing your content. And
Thank you.
I'm really impressed with you all for what you have brought to the table. And so I'm really delighted to be here today. Thank you.
Super,
thank
super.
you.
Yeah. Well, we keep it really casual, as you
Yeah.
have listened to. We have a few kind of outline thoughts, and so maybe you'd like to just break the ice with us a little bit and tell us about yourself, how you got where you are today, and
boy.
I think you're a native, and so tell us a little bit.
I am a native. I'm Sarah Fletcher, born and raised in Westford.
Okay.
And everybody knows George Fletcher. I think everybody had a connection with George. He was on the fire department. He was a select board member. He was, just involved with the town for his whole life, and I think, ran the family farm,
Nice.
the dairy farm. And, so that was my father's brother.
Okay.
And my parents built their little home on a section of the farmland. And so I am, and my son actually had a home birth. He was actually born in the home.
Oh, wow.
So he is now turning 20 this year.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And he is going to Hart School of Music at the University of Hartford.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I was,
Awesome.
when I learned your daughter was at
Yeah,
Berkeley.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. And Mary's son is also interested in music.
Yeah.
He did our intro.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's
Very
our-
talented.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And he goes to Indian Hill?
Groton School.
Groton School.
Groton School.
Oh, and what does he play? What?
Piano, and he sings, singer-songwriter
Okay.
kind of guy.
My
Yeah.
son's a cellist.
Oh, very. My son's
Yo,
best
yo,
friend
ma.
is a cellist. So, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
So yeah,
Hard to get
so
on the
that's
bus with
fun.
that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The case is
The big
expensive,
things
let
are
me tell
lug
you.
around.
So yeah, we go back many generations on that same property, which means
so
more
cool.
to me now as I get
Yeah.
older, and as family moves away, and
Absolutely.
you become like, oh, everybody moved, and I'm still here.
I'm still here. Yeah, you're holding down the fort.
Yes, exactly. Your roots are deep in Westford.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
are. My dad worked at Fletcher Quarry. He was a stonemason, so he built a lot of stone walls around. My son's name is Mason.
Oh, I love that.
For that connection.
Nice connection.
Because he died young. My dad died at 51.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, here I am today. And how did I get here? I've done nonprofit work
Right.
for a long time. Where did I start? I started probably at Interface Holistic Education Center in Cambridge.
Oh,
So
sounds
that
fancy.
was we brought in just kind of the cutting edge of spirituality and
Like
shaman
holistic
and
approaches.
holistic, holistic studies.
Before it was cool and mainstream.
Yeah, just you name it. We had shaman and psychics and Tibetan monks and all
Oh,
kinds of people
that's
coming
cool.
in and out of this incredible place. It
How
was
Cambridge.
Yes, it was very Cambridge.
Yeah.
did your son go to school there?
So that was really fun. No, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was way before.
So that was your
There a
first
glimmer in my eye.
toe in the
Right.
pool of nonprofit.
So and I did get a job there. I worked at the in the bookstore. We, of course, we supported all the authors that came in, and we ran a big annual Body and Soul conference in Boston, and thousands of people would come from all
Wow.
over. We had people like Deepak Chopra was a keynote.
Wow.
Oh, just
and
if you've ever heard of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Never heard
That
the name
little guy
before.
that got a thing or two.
So anyway, we had a lot of fun there. It was very intriguing, and I was in, it was my first kind of foray into nonprofit in that world,
Yeah.
And I from there went eventually to Rodenbush Community Center. I went then to Middlesex, Middlesex West Chamber of Commerce, and I was the
Okay.
director there for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Big job.
That's a
yeah,
big job.
that was always a hustle. That was
Yeah.
a real, big job. And that was, I learned a lot about, board development, board relationships and, how to really, and the importance of really working with the community and the people. And,
Right.
so that was amazing. We covered 8 towns. And so the job opening came to WestfordCAT in the marketing. They were looking for a marketing outreach manager, and I got that job.
Oh, nice.
So so when everything sort of fell apart in the pandemic,
Yeah.
I came in as interim director, and
Oh, okay.
they offered me the job. So here
Lovely.
I am.
Yeah.
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 Snatched
And
you right
you're,
up.
you were offered the job by the board. There's a board of WestfordCAT.
Yes. Yep. The
Yeah.
board of directors.
Good decision, board members.
Yeah.
Good decision.
You guys.
Thank you.
I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. And, within that, as a marketing person and being from Westford, I mean, just got really connected in the town, right? League of Women
Right.
Voters, Rotary Club,
Business
Westford Business
Association,
Association. I was the president for 2 years there. I'm actually sort of the interim president right now. I'm trying to pull
Pull
away
back.
from
Yeah.
But so and I'm also on the board of the Parish Center for the Arts. And, I've got way too much to
Just
do.
a few
You're a chronic
things.
say yeser.
Yeah.
Fundraiser.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Mostly fundraising, or some programming, or managing people to get these things done
For what in
for the various groups that you're.
yeah. Well,
here, particularly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the board, the Westford Business Association, we have a nice board of directors. They're really engaged, and of course, the Parish Center for the Arts also has been going on for many, many years. So their boards are very involved. They're working boards. They're really making things happen. So more, it's like, okay, here's the agenda, here's the meeting, and let's get this happening. You don't have
Right.
to do too much that
Yeah,
way.
that's
And
good.
as the director of WestfordCAT, you're not in the green room there or whatever, in the green screen directing people necessarily.
Well, I can be, and I
Yes.
have been. Like I filled in for Patty for the Adoptable Pet of the Week for several months, and trying to keep that show going, and a little bit, but mostly, it's about supporting the staff and getting and helping kind of tune the direction. Right. So some of the questions that I've been asked by the board, and we did a strategic planning session, is, what's your product?
Right.
So we're PEG Media, Public Education and Government, and we're also news. So those are our 4 products.
Yeah.
Public are folks like you that come in, you join as a member, you create a program, You pay as a member, so we have membership dues that you pay, and you support the organization and then support the staff with that membership fee, right?
Yep. Yep.
And you create content that you as business ladies, you can go out and use on your social media. You help, it develops your business and your contacts. So that's a really cool way to utilize the station. And we have several business members that do utilize us in that way. Government is about government transparency. It's really about and accessibility.
Yeah.
About making those meetings available for folks, and certainly during this pandemic, we have seen such a shift in our viewership and our engagement because more people can get to hybrid meetings. They can tune in, they can watch, but you can stream now. We stream to YouTube, so the select board, school committee, as many board committees that we cover, we're streaming to YouTube and also to our own website. So you can always watch our channels live from our website.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So that's, again, it's really available. It's not really about the television set anymore. And that's really, it's kind of going away, right?
I have a question that I've just always had about those types of meetings and being on Zoom and things like, well, maybe not always, but town meeting, right? So are you broadcasting town meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Has there been a conversation around how to get the people that are at home viewing to be able to vote in that town meeting?
Well, they have a committee, and actually Steve, one of our employees, is on that committee to help get more accessibility to the town meetings. Right?
I think that would be huge.
So, and I know they're looking at a lot of different things, like whether it's putting all of the issues on a ballot so people can just vote on it, or doing electronic voting, or what's going to help get people to the meetings to get more people there. So that's a whole, and there is a survey actually from the legal from that committee that people should look for and take.
Oh yeah, let's do that,
because that's really important. It's about being accessible, the accessibility of town meeting.
Yeah, because I see it in Groton all the time. Like 40 people will show up to town meeting and vote on some very big issues, but all of the, let's just say the demographic, like all of the parents are at their soccer game or their football game with their kids and they can't make it to town meeting, or some people are at work or they can't get babysitters. It's very, very difficult to get that kind of large community participation at a town meeting when they're only in person, for one. And so I think that advent of being able to broadcast them is such a huge and wonderful thing for communities.
And the other thing I think that happens is that you get an issue and a lot of people show up for that issue and sway that vote, and then then they all leave, and
that
after that
farm
vote's
to table
taken.
thing over there where on Boston Road, Caldwell Banker is now they left that building.
Oh yeah.
And so there's that whole controversy already starting
Oh,
about
it's opening
what's
up
going
again.
on over there. Yes, with the farm
Because
to
that
table.
the property that touches
that was
it, right?
Drew Farm. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yep, right on Boston Road. So I've seen some Facebook chatter over that in Westford.
So they're all concerned, but I think that's isn't that a residential zoning, that house?
Well, it was commercial though. I mean,
Agrarian was what the other property was. I know nothing.
The Caldwell Banker thing.
I get lost
So
in
you
that
think
one.
maybe they'll develop it?
I don't know. I thought it was a
Jody.
residential
No.
zoning.
Get Jody on the line.
Jody Rothberg.
Yeah, of course it's going to be controversial and people
Yep.
keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the state of cable TV these days, Sarah?
Well, it's on the decline, right? When I look at my Comcast bill, I get a little shaken.
Yes. Verizon too.
Pretty expensive. And I think people are, we so much is available to live stream, right? So all the over the top, the OTT services, the Hulu, Netflix, Prime, so many of the shows that I watch, I stream.
Same.
I
Yeah.
just cast them
Right.
to my Chromecast.
Well, you and I had that conversation because I was trying to do a fundraiser at Christmas and benefit WestfordCAT, because it really struck me when you said to me that, that your revenue stream was down because of streaming, because
Right.
people don't have cable subscriptions, and that there was a fee that went to public access television.
Right.
Is that
so? When
correct?
you subscribe to cable television through either Verizon or Comcast in Westford, you get a franchise fee. Probably $5 a month,
Right.
on your bill. So it's about $60 $60 or $70 a year that really goes to the town. So they're paying for access to every home in town, right? They also probably pay National Grid that owns the poles to hang their wires on the poles. So they have, that kind of access. So National Grid has all of the, the Netflix and all of those streaming service that are attached to the poles. They make money off of them. We don't see any of that. Any of the over-the-top streaming services, we're not getting, the town's not getting that money, right? The town is the benefactor of that money. It comes to, we've been designated as the cable provider. So we're an educational center. We're open to the community. It used to be that you would come in and show your cable bill and you would be a member, right? You would show us here, I subscribe and here's your bill. So back in the day, that was how we did it, but everything is changing now.
Yeah,
right.
So we do have membership dues. We ask you to subscribe and get involved that way.
Yeah.
And your fundraising. I mean, you are doing regular fundraising.
We're hustling. Setting the budget this year, our cable revenue, the money that comes in from the franchise fees is at just over $400,000. 5 years ago, it was over $500,000. So we're losing, 5% a year, about $20,000 a year. And, they say once the 5G comes through town, where everything is going to just change, So that whole, so we're hustling, and we are doing like everything we can, right? We're doing electronics collection, which is really in alignment because we have so much e-waste here. So recycling e-waste is something we need to manage all the time. So that's a great benefit. We're doing a battery collection. So if you get alkaline batteries, keep them out of the waste, bring them over to us, make a small donation. That's another thing we can do. We're looking at all those little collections. What can we do?
Well, they add up, and you're providing a service to the community.
Exactly. And, if people get intrigued, they can come in. We did pictures with Santa, and, we're doing the online auctions and the sales. And so, but it's a lot of work to do all that, right? And,
you have to be very
so for
fast.
me and for the committee, that we're trying to manage all that. And I keep hitting my microphone. I got to stop talking with my hands here.
Very hard.
Your producer will be after you.
So you can tell I'm not in the studio very much. We're doing a lot to raise money and keep things going and to make up that gap. I'm writing grants.
Right.
Well, speaking of grants, you had sent me, because we had a conversation about what you do with the high school students or with interns, capstone, some of the things that go on in town. So what kind of, and there's a summer camp program. So tell us about some of that.
Yeah. So so really out of that strategic planning session, one of the most powerful questions I think that came out of it was, like what's your niche? Like, you don't have to be everything to everybody, but what's the niche going to be? And honestly, when I look back, the camps with the kids, we do a summer lights, camera, action video camp, 5 days, and it's only half a day. It's like 3 or 4 hours a day, and these kids come in and they write a story. They find green screen assets, pictures that they can put behind them as set. They bring in their costumes. They act it all out. They edit it, and then we have a movie day at the end of the week. So in 5 days, they've created a short video,
Wow.
So
and they
cool.
have a blast on the green screen. Not only that, we do other activities. We have a game show that they play, or we might make short videos of making slime, or whatever they're into. We can help just create some fun projects for them to do some editing on. And they have a blast.
Sounds like fun to me.
I know, right? What age group? That's what I was going to ask. Am I too old?
Am I too old?
Right. Do you have one for adults? Moms with wine or something?
Now you're talking.
So and the kids are amazing. And I had a couple of college students as interns last summer and a couple of volunteer high school students. And those 4 kids were amazing with them. They ran the whole program. It had been in the past very staff intensive. So I had to be on hand, everybody. It was really an all hands on deck because we had to manage 10 kids running around and trying to keep them all organized. So the interns took care of everything. Beautiful. They learned how to operate all the equipment. Right. They managed all the students. They kept them on track, and I just had to kind of check in with them, make sure things are moving along, and it worked out really well. So I'm like, we got to grow this. This is really valuable.
Right. Parents, what a great resume builder for your children.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? The students, they learn so much. They're like, they learned about paychecks and why the taxes are taken out, and some of these, they were like their first jobs. I said, okay, now put it on LinkedIn so that you have what's LinkedIn.
Right. So your career counseling as well.
Career counseling,
all service here.
Exactly.
Lovely.
It was amazing, and to hear the college students come in, God, these kids are so smart. Like the little kids that are taking the class, right? I'm like, well, that's what I used to say about you guys. But honestly, the way they've evolved, like those young kids come in, they have absolutely no fear. They dive right in. They do the editing. It's an innate ability to them now. Whereas it might have taken a little more training 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now they just come in and they're 8 years old and they jump on the computer. No, I've never seen Final Cut, but boom, they're doing it.
Click, click, click.
It's incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty
And
amazing.
they're not camera shy?
Occasionally, but not usually.
Because they're raised with it.
They're and you give a kid a green piece of cloth and you put them in the green screen and you let them play the Invisible Man or girl, and and they have a ball.
Fall in love with
it. Throw in a couple of special effect bombs and explosions, and honestly, it's hysterical.
You're off to the races.
There,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. My kids, my parents lived in South Carolina when they were little. The Children's Museum down in Greenville has a green screen room, and they have a few little scripts, and you can have aliens invading.
Love it.
And they give you, they would put it on CD. I mean, this is 15 years ago, and then you would, at the end of you could buy the little CD. So I have these of them with their green screen, with aliens invading, and it's just really fun, and to see them light up, kids that normally are shy, or all of a sudden to see them kind of come to life. It was really a fun experience. So I love that camp.
It's
100%
so nice to have an option for kids that don't want to sign up for basketball camp or soccer camp or something like that.
Right, because not everybody is into the sports.
That's right.
And I had a son who wasn't into sports at all. So you find these little niches for them to explore, right? And even if they just explore it once. Now, Rachel actually took the camp when she was in junior high. Then she came back and she volunteered last summer, and now she's on payroll.
Lovely.
So now she's covering sports games. She started a film club at the high school this year. She's a junior now.
Terrific.
And she's wonderful.
You do this long enough, Sarah, you're going to see that you've launched people's careers into, filmmaking or movie directing.
Right. I mean,
sounds
she'd
like
like to
Rachel
do
found
that.
a passion.
It really does.
And we can foster that. And,
that's
and we
wonderful.
also work with Neshoba Tech. So in the past, hopefully we can resume this. Tours. We did every other week. They'd bring in a group of, kids that were exploring TV media, and they would come in and spend a morning here with us, learning about the jobs we do, what the resources were. We've had volunteers from that had graduated from the tech and came and volunteered and kept their skills up so they could go off to college. But I'd love to have more involvement, back again with them. We have a great
they just
relationship
opened their
with the tech.
restaurant again.
Oh, good.
So I think they're on the road to opening things up.
Oh, that's great.
We were just talking about that with them, and then Omicron shut everybody down.
Whatever.
So maybe we'll get used to that.
And the other school, we have another high school, right? The Innovation Academy Charter School. So we've had interns come from there, and they have a program where their students spend, Wednesday afternoons throughout the school term, their last senior year, to do a project. So we've hosted students from there too. So
great. What
it's
a great
really great.
resource.
So the program that I'd really want to develop is this, kind of first jobs, expanding our summer program, maybe making it a day-long program, and I think if we can offer that up on a regular basis and expand that program, and also make the tools available to each of the schools, right? So I'd like to get some more mobile equipment so that the students that are coming from these other schools can use them throughout the school year, and really grow that, get them on the payroll, so they get their first job out there, and we get coverage at each of the schools, and really create some value and that kind of network for, junior high kids can come in, take the, the lights, camera, action.
Yep.
They get excited about it. Some of them want to stay. I've had kids come out of that program and start doing camera operation at town meeting, and like all day long, just
So
running a
great.
camera.
Fun.
Like a junior high kid. He said he was
Who's
so
that kid behind
interested.
the camera?
It's like, holy moly. We have other kids that have their own podcasts. I've seen a lot of development over the 5 or so years that I've been here, right? The kids have grown and changed and done their own thing. And,
So it sounds like a niche, it sounds like expanding or developing this niche. It sounds awesome.
I think that's the direction we should probably
Yes.
go in. That's what I've started to, as I wrote the grant, and it started to really click for me. Like this is our direction.
Yes.
Really.
It's excellent community outreach. Like,
It's
the
a-
parents will be appreciative. The kids
Yeah.
are appreciative. They stick with it. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, and I think a day-long program also helps working, moms and
Yeah, absolutely.
single parents, especially. Like I was a single parent.
Yep,
I
me
know how
too.
hard it
Yes.
is to find. You have to have a day long. I can't go halfway in the day and pick them up.
Right.
So to for the working folks out there, to have a day long program that the kids can come to it's a big value for that.
It really
And-
is.
Love it.
And the kids learn a lot. I mean, they're in this amazing high tech
it's fun. Yeah.
environment, and
Yeah.
it's a blast. And
Yeah.
there's not like, oh no, don't touch that. It's like, no, open it up and use it and
right.
play with it.
Buttons,
So
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
warm, safe place
Yeah.
for them. I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
really is. It's such a challenge when you're looking for what your kids should be doing in the summer, and when they're not the sporty kids, it's really hard to find something that
Right.
they would want to engage with.
Right.
I'm like, you want to join chess club? No. How about ponies? No.
And this is a STEAM environment, right? So
Right.
science, technology, education, arts, and
STEAM.
it's a STEAM environment. So if you're, that kid that loves to be on the camera, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you're the kid that wants to just push the buttons, then that's okay too. I had a young man who graduated Westford Academy, and was taking a gap year. I hired him this past year to work like August to December. Great editing skills, amazing. So
awesome.
yeah.
Well,
and if
maybe
it's in the
that
budget, I'll bring
planted
it
the
back.
seed of a direction for him if he was taking a gap year. You may have put him on a path that he otherwise wouldn't have seen.
He's already got a lot of talent with his editing. He's really terrific. So I wish him all the best with that.
I think I'm going to send you a kid. I just thought of one. I have a friend of mine, a lender friend, who has a son who is in 8th grade, and he is doing all of his video editing for his YouTube channel. He'll do a bunch of interviews, and then the 8th grader goes and edits them, and they come out beautifully.
How nice.
So
Wow.
he could probably use a formal training.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe he could teach a class. He could run
Well, we typically kind of wind down our discussion with a quote, but beforehand, I want to see if either Mary's have any more burning questions for Sarah today.
I just, I'm so impressed with people who commit their really whole life to nonprofit organizations, community fundraising, outreach, that type of thing. And it seems like that's just always been the running theme in your life, right? Like your passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd have to say that's true. The community engagement.
Yeah. So was there a point at which you realized that was the direction you were going in, or was it you sort of got that job in Cambridge and said, okay, I'm good at this and I'll do that, or was it an actual conscious choice of I want to be in nonprofit work for my life?
When I was in Cambridge at Interface, at some point, and I really still remember that I'm like, I could run this place. I mean, I was arrogant enough to think that I could.
No, we all love it.
I just knew that I could run a nonprofit agency.
Yeah.
It was my first time experiencing all, and but I just had a sense that this is probably a direction that
Yeah.
I'll go in. And, so then, it kind of led me down that path, right?
Right. So
I
you kept
had-
making decisions based on that
yeah,
good
it
experience.
Yes, I've had the experience. Well, you go with your experience,
Yep.
right? So I did actually, when I went to Westford, I worked in the community center there, the Rodenbush Community Center. I came
Yeah.
back from Cambridge, and
Yep.
actually I was driving home one night, and I was like, wow, you really do live in the sticks.
It's a long way. Yeah, it's a long way now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coming out of Westford Road
No,
in
the dark-
Carlisle,
the-
it's
the
like
roads
you're
can be- back roads are dark.
Yeah.
They just go on and on. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be back in Westford and to be at the Rodenbush and be part of that community and have my young son and be raising him here, and of course that changes the whole trajectory of
does.
everything,
Yes,
right?
it
When you
does.
have a kid that's gonna, now I have to be responsible for somebody,
And
I
like
gotta settle
nearby.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had him late, so
Right. Right.
I have a question. What would you like to see the residents of Westford do to support WestfordCAT?
Well,
Send money.
send money.
Right. No, sign up, get
Boxes of
involved,
money.
learn more about the
Or
programs.
just, it would be nice to find out that they actually know that we are here
Yeah.
and
Right.
who we are
Yeah.
and what we do, because they don't.
Right.
Not everybody is engaged that
Right.
way. But to come in for a tour.
Yeah.
that
great
would be
idea.
something really simple, right?
That's
just
great.
to come in for a tour.
Let's have
and-
an open
and
house
learn
here.
about
Can
that.
I throw an open house for
absolutely.
WestfordCAT?
house
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Let's do
yeah.
that.
Love
We'd
that.
love to help host that.
And I've
Good.
done a lot of open houses over the years on,
Yeah.
open studios on,
Right.
on
Yeah.
a Saturday.
But,
yeah.
it's kind of what we do. So.
Yeah, we're kind of good this open house thing.
know how to do
We
those.
might not do that.
I think a first step is just to come in and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Because
great
once you come
facility.
in, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't know this
seriously,
was here.
Yeah.
Right.
Every single guest we've had, you've probably heard on our podcast, go, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing in
Beautiful.
here." It's such a point of pride for us to walk our
is.
guests through and be like, "Look, this is where we record."
Right. The big studio, and then here we are.
We do lot it over them for sure.
We do. I bet your studio's not this great.
Yeah, because once they see what we do, then they're like, "Oh, well, what else can I do?" Well, you can
Right.
sign up for our free newsletter every morning. We send out an email, and you can get updated on the local news happenings in town, or
Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
watch
Awesome. I'm going to sign up
watch
for it.
Married to Real Estate.
Married to
Right.
real estate. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Of course.
So we do kind of wind down with a quote, and so we have is it Girls for the World? Anyway, it was a TV series, and it was for young, I guess, tweens or something. But in that, there's a quote: "People change people," and I wonder what you all think about that. People changing people. I'm thinking about it as my new byline, Mary.
I like it. I like it for your byline because, I think you do change lives. I think, it makes me think of the ripple effect.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
things you do, whether you know it or not, have an impact on people.
Right.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and actually, I was preparing myself for yours as a podcast.
Oh, it's really hard.
No, well, it was about listening to your shows and really catching up on those shows. And as I was listening and being inspired by Dave McGilvert,
Yeah.
Love
right,
him.
his story is
I
so
know.
touching.
Yeah.
And or even Jody Ross.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
I know we had goosebumps and tears a little bit going
Well,
on.
right,
But
but-
town manager.
She and I both had psych as an undergrad, which I didn't know.
Oh.
And then she said
Wow.
she did real estate, and I'm like, well, I was a licensed real estate agent
Were
too.
you?
Or everybody
We
tries
let
it.
that one go for a reason,
Well, I
so that's
think,
good.
people attract like people.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's kind of funny.
And
We
it's
see
so
you.
it's funny that you can, just listening to them, I'd be like, oh, I have that in common with them, or
Right.
I can connect with so many of you on so many different levels if you
Yes.
listen to the stories. It is about people connecting with people, or changing people, or being inspired by people. I think that's the common thread I heard. And your
Beautifully
shows
said.
are fabulous.
Oh my gosh, Sarah! Now I'm gonna get
Now this is a good ad. Yes.
Allergies coming on.
Well, that's exactly. Yeah, I feel the same exact way about this quote. You two, my two Marys, have changed me, and for always. And but that's with every person we meet, and there's an opportunity for that to happen to us. And I love being able to get these stories out into the world for people to hear
Yep,
our
I do
different
too.
our differences and our commonalities, and the things that tie us together. Thinking we live in the sticks or not, that not Mairi. But I love that. I love that people actually have that kind of effect on other people, you know, and allowing that to happen is really, I think, the beauty of life, instead of just being insular and not being affected by the people around you. Yeah. So thanks for picking that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
thanks
very
for
welcome.
Mary.
I've just been touched by it so much, and I've been looking for a byline for a while,
I
and
think
Mary's
that's
been
it.
helping me, and I love it. I just
Yeah.
love it.
Yep.
Because I think Mary's right. I think the ripple effect is just amazing. And the joy of doing the podcast, Sarah, is that we get to see, how, as Mary was saying, we get to see how much we have in common.
Yeah.
Yet the creativity is unbelievable.
Right.
So haven't we proved today that Westford has rich because of cable TV?
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
we're geniuses.
We
in
are
this.
yeah. Indeed.
We're geniuses. Sarah's a genius.
Yeah,
There is a
Westford
genius,
Cat
yeah.
is the place to be.
Yeah.
Very good.
Groton's got a lot to live up to. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Well, not
Another topic we could talk about
community.
interagency stuff.
That's right.
Yes.
not all community access stations are created equal.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
good.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah.
to
And some communities don't even have one, so we're very lucky.
And it really depends on the number of
Cable
subscribers.
Yeah.
Right, because a small town is going to have fewer. Tingsboro has a government channel, and some are set up as town departments, and some are separate nonprofits. So we're a separate nonprofit, but so it's a little bit about structure and about the desire, and
Yep.
yeah.
Wow.
But Westford values their education. We're an educational resource in town.
Yes.
We will train and help anyone of any age to come, who wants to learn about editing, camera work, how to produce a show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I love it.
So, Mary McCauley, our next guest is?
Donna from Clear Path, New England. And I don't know her very well, but they work with veterans. They have a dog training program. They just opened a new building in Devens. So I'm excited to get to know her better. We're kind of Facebook friends. I came across her a couple of years ago at a dog event
Nice.
at Devens. So we've just kind of been on the peripheral
Yeah.
friends and contact.
Good.
And I reached out to her and said, hey, do this little podcast in the hopping metropolis of Westford.
That's right. Bustling city of Westford.
And she'd be lucky. Be sure to wear your pearls and your tie. No, but anyway, so she's gracious enough to come and tell us more about that. I do some stuff with veterans. They're a group that as we know, we all appreciate them, and
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. That'll be
So
fun.
It'll be
Good.
really
Yeah.
good.
Good. Well, thank you again, Sarah. We have
Thank you.
so enjoyed being with you, and we're so grateful for the resources
Yes.
here.
Very, very
Yes.
grateful.
Very glad you're
Thank you,
here.
Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.